When parents first have a child, one of the things that they really look forward to is the day when that child will first start to speak. And most children start to produce their first words around 12 months of age. There are, however, exceptions, and parents can be understandably worried if they find that their child is lagging behind others and doesn't seem to be starting to talk on schedule. The usual advice is that if your child is not producing words by 18 months of age, or has just a handful of words, say 8 to 10 different words they can say, it's good advice to seek help from your family doctor, who will be able to check whether your child has something like a hearing loss that might be responsible, or whether the language problems are a sign of broader developmental difficulties. However, for most late talkers, there isn't anything else that actually is a problem. It's just that the child isn't speaking. And we know that, in fact, for most children like that, it's common for them to catch up and just be what we call late bloomers, rather than to have persisting problems. But obviously, what we want to do is to know which children are at risk of longer-term problems, because then it would be sensible to direct intervention efforts to those children. And in the PowerPoint accompanying this video, I give some details of a study that we did to look at just exactly that question. So what we did was we identified children at 18 months of age who were producing either no words or very few words, and we gave them quite a detailed assessment, and then we followed them up when they were 4 and looked at which ones had significant language difficulties at 4 years of age. And the good news is that, like other studies had found, we did find that most late talkers were doing just fine by the time they were 4. We found 2 things that helped us predict which ones were not doing so well at 4. If the child had problems with not just producing words but also understanding words, that seemed to be a red flag, indicative of the fact that they might need some more special help. Also, if they came from a family where other family members had longer-term problems, either with speech or with reading, so problems like dyslexia, they were likely to have longer-term problems too. The prediction wasn't terribly strong, but it led us to recommend that, in general, it's reasonable to reassure parents of a late talker not to worry, provided there aren't any other developmental difficulties, provided that they also have good language comprehension and no family history of language problems. But where the child is also failing to understand well and is coming from a family where there might be other people with language problems, then it may be more sensible to direct early intervention efforts to specifically those children.